You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something Minotaur the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Minotaur Hotel. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! Alright. The contract is ready, Alexios. Coda steps forward and reads the contract out loud. By the will of the Labyrinth's master, this binding contract is established, so it may enforce its contents upon the world and its people. Hereby, the master commands into existence two linked objects, a lead ring to fit around a man's bicep and a laurel wreath as wide as the prisoner's arm. These two objects shall be linked in cause and effect, as will their wearers. Whoever dons the lead ring will find it impossible to be removed, except through the revoking of this contract. Whoever first dons the laurel wreath shall become its permanent and unchangeable owner. If the owner of the laurel wreath is ever made to go to the Labyrinth's valley, either by coercion, command, or forcing, the lead ring shall constrict and close as to amputate its bearer's arm. By the master's will, this contract may only be revoked if all its parties, bearer of the lead ring, owner of the laurel wreath, and the two eyewitnesses present during its signing consent to it. Such is the master's will. Master, this is truly what you want. Yes, I told you already today and I meant it, Asterion. Did you expect me to go back on my word now that we are putting consequences on the table? Yes, I did. I could not imagine a master accepting conditions so absurd. I suppose you're wrong then, but there's no reason to feel bad. Sometimes that's a good thing. You take the pen and sign the contract. The contract shudders in your hand. Its paper turns thicker, almost leathery in texture. You signed the Oath of the Binding Rings. You can reread the terms in the files menu, okay? Oh god, can you actually go against the terms and get your own fucking arm cut off? The two rings materialize on the table. Asterion takes the lead one, and you take the laurel wreath, and then you turn to each other. Asterion, I promise not to send you to the valley under any circumstances, and I swear I'll protect you from any who would attempt to. I swear by my arm, knowing well the consequences of breaking my word, but I do it with my mind at peace. There's no reason why I would ever transgress this rule. I promise to be the good master you and this hotel deserve. Master Alexios, your kindness and piety are unmatched. This contract asks nothing of me. Regardless, I will offer my binding word in your favor. I promise to protect you, as is my duty, and to keep away from this land any who would threaten you by means of our oath. I swear that I'll do everything possible within or without my reach so that you will never regret your mercy. Well then, now... Excuse me, Coda, there's something I would like to add. Indeed, Asterion, the contract asks nothing of you, which is why I will require one thing now. I do not care to register this in paperwork, or if it can be made into a contract in the first place. Still, I want you to fulfill this simple request. What is it, my lord? There you go. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and I return. Let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Okay. Effective now, you'll accept your place as my business partner. From now on, you will call me by my name. Excuse me. Yes, Alexios, I will. I accept your request. If there are no more objections, then, Asterion, Alexios. I now pronounce you husband and husband. You extend your left arm and the Minotaur gingerly slides the ring until it fits around your bicep. It does not, however, constrict or bother. It feels like it's barely grazing your skin, even if it's firm and unmoving. The Minotaur extends his arm and you do the same. Slide the laurel wreath, with its leaves caressing Asterion's fur until it fits around his bicep. Hey, that's pretty good. It's done, good master. Your little ceremony, this peculiar rite, it binds you to ease the prisoner's load. What an odd pair. These rings befit you, and what a gallant ceremony. And now you may kiss the bride. And now you open your mouth to spoil the moment, you uncouth peasant. Always. Something tugs on your pants. The little guy glares at you, a good foot of distance away, then shoots out with his arm to offer you something. It's a little paper rose. You only have the time to grasp it before he runs off to hide behind a rock. Oh, Alexios, he wanted to give you a gift. Huh, I guess you're right, that can be cute. Of course I am right. Why did you ever doubt me? The two go on to bicker, as is their wont. You watch, With Asterion by your side, the both of you bathed in the red lamplight from below and the moonlight's white from above. Behind stands the hotel, tall and kingly, a wall between you and the horrible valley. Asterion's arm is warm against yours. This time there is no frightened recoiling or tense shuddering. The wind rushes past and around you, and this time the both of you lean together. Who is it that began it? You cannot tell. Alexios, when you say this calls for a drink? Yes, but Luke only brought his watered down beer. We can only share a bottle of wine back at the hotel. I would enjoy that. It would make for a memorable end to this night. Such a tiny ember, but its heart beats red nonetheless. The two of you return home, bumping shoulders as you go. That night the Minotaur is welcomed into restful slumber, and the following day, for the first time since the Second World War, he allows himself a day of uneventful peace. Ooh, Hades, the courthouse. The Minotaur and Charon, ferrymen of the dead, sailed down and across the river Styx. Their journey was brief but not unpleasant. Left and right, the newly dead looked, to spires of raw rock jutting from the ground in shapes both familiar, temples, homes, palaces, and incomprehensible, edifices that defy geometry and logic. Oh, God, y'all have no idea how thirsty I am. The world of the dead lacked sunlight, but so did its objects like a shadow. Everything shone with a humble light coming from within. Even the Styx's waters glimmered, so clear were they that the Cretan prince could gaze into their depths, to the restful sandbank peppered with gemstones and silver. Asterion hummed along with the ferryman's rowing, and when a drop of boredom fell on his mind, he took to singing. First, every song he was ever taught, the new ones that meandered along with the boat. He sang until the knot of his throat was undone, and then they arrived. Ahead was an empire of rock, gemstones, and metal, which rose from the ground in the shape of a temple but with the grandeur of a palace. Smaller than the palace of Knossos, thought the Minotaur, ignoring that his memories of the place came from the eyes of a child. Left and right were tall stone walls which had been carved down into bars. He could see the realm of Hades beyond, fields of crocus and grapes, pastures where tall-horned goats and cows grazed. Guards of Hades approached with spears standing tall as if expecting a struggle, as the newly dead were not known for their compliance, but upon seeing his visage they stopped where they stood. The hybrid prince bowed and spoke with a voice so clear, so song-like, they felt as if an old friend and lord was addressing them. He asked for directions to his destiny, and they complied, pointed him to the palace where the dead were judged. They guided him for the first half, passing by the crowds of ailing souls that were yet to accept their own passing, before it became clear this subject required no oversight. For the second half of the journey, thus, they followed him instead and talked. They asked of Crete, cradle of civilization, and Asterion boasted about their fields of crocus and how they swayed in the wind. The prince asked about life in Hades, what trials does the Lord of Good Counsel see fit to impose on his subjects? The response came in booming, fearless voices. If you are deemed a hero, as your visage would imply, then the fields of Elysium await you, but you'll find an existence lacking in tragedy. As for us, men of little glory, the Asphodel Meadows are where we make our home. Here we exist as if still alive, toiling but not suffering, enjoying neither privilege nor curse. My friend, your words are kind, and you need not flatter. My visage is as far from heroic as one can be, and I have lived without merit worthy of praise. Is that so? But make no mistake, I speak with no flattery. You bear a likeness most familiar to us, guards of Hades, albeit inverted. If your tongue is honest and you bear no glory worthy of praise, then I pray you consider my advice. One such as you would be a welcome addition to our ranks. Questions swam in the prince's mind. So many, yet only one could be picked at a time. As much as he wished to know of his future, the past still had an allure that he could not resist. Friend, please speak without fear. What could you mean by my appearance being familiar? Could it be you have seen here folk like me, cursed with the likeness of a bull? Not like you, but among the elite of Hades you'll find bull-eyed men from the Cretan lineage. Their voices meander just as much as yours. Their greatness is well known and unmatched. That is why I cannot believe you are a humble, mediocre soul. Greatness flows in your blood just as much as it falls on your horns. They came upon a hall as tall as the palace of Knossos. Polished stone from top to bottom with gemstones encrusted where they were birthed. At the end of the hall stood 3 podiums, each with a judge. Bull-eyed men with the tan skin and garments so familiar to the Cretan prince. With his step-wide shoulders standing proud, the Minotaur met his fate head first. The hinterlands won. The charm. The Minotaur dreams, snapshots around him shifting back and forth. Ooh. Sun beating on his back. Fur was always damp from wearing hoodies, a stream of sweat running down his brow. Dry clay caked the fabric. He smelled sour. Soft cloth over his blossoming horns, some shade over his eyes, tail tucked inside his shorts. Then torn hoodies when his horns couldn't be hidden anymore. Bruises before class, hidden underneath black fur, then an hour or two of numbers, cold, gentle little blocks. He was holding a pencil now, no more than an inch long after being used to its end. He wrote the numbers down with love, each 7 crossed over in the middle, symmetrical rows of 6s and 9s, a perfect curve for each 2. It took him a while, but he mastered the 8. The 2 bubbles had to be mirrored, then class was over. Years later, syntax and grammar, verbs, adjectives, nouns. Approach the delicate women, the teacher said. Cross the unwearying sea. Sentences stretching on, neat little bricks. Hollow-hooved bull, he said. Snickers. The boy disliked these words. Then came interpretations, texts. He liked the stories, but the rules of his mind were different from those the books held dear. History and geography were puzzling, too soft and pliable. They escaped through his fingers. Philosophy was fine as long as it was close to mathematics, but biology was an insult. Bruises after failing biology, punished for punching back, made to wear corks at school, stopped school but kept the numbers and all the little bricks he could carry. Walking to the store with Mom. Men sneer and spit insults at them, pretends he doesn't know what zoophile means. What the fuck? She pulls his arm. Maybe this time she'll dislocate it. She never said who his father is. Maybe she doesn't know, but he's human, she assures him, between drags of cigarette smoke. What the fuck? There was a kindness in a family. They are the only people who see fit to ignore him. But that's not enough. Ran away. Spent a while in the wilderness, then the city. Looked for a job. Returned home. Tried again. This time stole enough money to get a bus to someplace farther away. Slept under a bridge, always during the day. Night hides his horns and muzzle. The aisle empties when he goes to the store. He's asked to leave the burger joint with a note on the bag to not eat in. Good enough for his stolen money, but not for his presence. Fail. Try again. Fail worse. Go home. Ah, howdy there. Did I disturb you? Huh? Even before his consciousness awakens, the Minotaur has already planted his hooves on the soil and pushed himself deeper into the alcove. His ears flicker. Eyes leap around until they focus on the man blocking the sun. He can't catch any features, and in fact, an itch in the back of his head makes it impossible to tell what he's looking at. Words cross his mind. His lips tighten. Is the man talking to him, or is there someone else just out of sight? Maybe the Minotaur thinks he hasn't seen me. He parts his lips and draws a breath, slow through his teeth, not to make a sound. Ah, I came at a bad time, didn't I? I'm awfully sorry to bother you. But I was passing by and came down here to sort of personal issue, and a family friend made it a point that I should meet you. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our two gold tier patrons. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!